Let's see here. Alright, well. We're gonna find out. If this worked. I'm trying something else now. Let's see what's the score out there. 4-0. 4-0. Let's set the score up here. Alright, so let's see here. If I go to Facebook and I hit G1 TV. Please don't say be right back when you pop up. At least entertain me for a second there. Alright, so that can mute. Let's see here. Thanks for being patient, folks. I'm trying my best to work with you. Just overall, it's not, hasn't been fully cooperative. Alright, so the first thing. Looks like there are 7 people watching right now, at least before it says be right back. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Thank you, BJ. Alright, well. Hopefully this did it. I am going to try to share this to Jay's Garage and my own Facebook page. This program has been a pain in the rear end now for 3 days. Doing a little bit of research, I found a video that I haven't seen yet, so I watched that, and they said, here, try this and see what happens. And it looks like so far so good. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but we might have actually got it working. So I'm going to make a quick adjustment in this. Just to make sure that this is capture method. Nope, that ain't it. How about this one? No, what's the deal here? Let's try this. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to fix on the run here, and it is not being my friend really. There we go. All right. So let's see now. That should show the tall angle. Alright, so before I get into too much of what's going on, I'm just going to sit here for a couple minutes and actually see if this worked or not. So just bear with me. I know that you guys won't be able to hear too much, but I'm just going to sit here and let it run for a second before I really get to what exactly is going on and all that stuff. So I'll be back just in a couple minutes. If you guys are still checking it out here in a couple minutes, I appreciate it. If you could, I actually think I fixed it. So if you guys could like it and share it, and I'm going to do a couple things, and I'll be right back talking with you all shortly. So appreciate you sticking with me. I know you guys know I try to do the best I can, but this thing's been a pain in the butt now for about 72 hours. So if you could like it and share it, I'll be right back with some audio here very shortly. Thank you. All right. Well, I don't believe it myself, but I think it's fixed. Finally. I finally found a YouTube video that actually helped me. I came in here yesterday and I watched about 4 of them, and not one of them helped me. I called my friend Greg, and he put me in a different direction, and that looked like to help for about all of, 2 minutes, and then it went back to normal. But this new one I just tried, and this is definitely the longest that we've been live now in 3 days. So I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that we got it. So you're gonna hear the glorious one himself get ready to speak, I guess. Anyway, so again, I am Eric Naretto, welcoming you to G1 Television, the only place where you can find amateur billiard streams, which is a complete lie, but it just sounded good. It was a good plug. But let's talk about today's feature matchup that we have right now. You guys are coming in late. You guys are coming in to Tommy Kruger and Jason Carwyle. Jason is the owner of Jay's Garage, and they are taking on Jim Dopler, who appeared in G1 TV's very first matchup. And he is teaming up with his friend Dustin Popp. They are doing some Scotch doubles action. They're playing winner break. Now, the interesting thing about this matchup is they are alternating 8-ball and 9-ball every game. So, let's see, right now, each player has one 9-ball player on it, predominant 9-ball player, and one team member has a predominant 8-ball player. Jay's 9-ball game isn't bad, and Tommy is a predominant 8-ball player. He does not play a lot of 9-ball. And Jim's 9-ball game is not bad, and Dustin doesn't play a lot of 9-ball. So you've got some strategy differences and things like that. They decided they wanted to do something just a little bit different. They wanted to incorporate both games. So that's what we have going on for you tonight. First things first, as always, if you like what you see, tell me that you like what you see and hit the like button. And then on top of that, if you really like what you see, do me the biggest favor, do G1 TV the biggest favor, do Jay's Garage the biggest favor. Go 2 spots over and click the share button so somebody that's on your news feed has the opportunity to watch this as well. So let's see. It looks like Jim and Dustin have gotten their first game on the wire in this race to 20 on this beautiful Friday night. So let's get that score changed to 1. Let's see. So the score is 4-1. Well, it's the same thing. I asked my buddy Josh for a thing of water, and he pulls out a Busch Light, and I'm like, well, I guess that's the same thing, but I actually want the real water. So here we go. So Jim Dopler is getting ready to pretty good. Jacob, how you doing? He's getting ready to break rack number 6, trailing Jason and Tommy 4-1. Thank you, brother. He's normally pretty quiet, but if you hear him, I'm joined in the booth by the one and only Mr. 300 himself, Josh Gernance. So as we start to move into this, man, it's weird. It's like I haven't done this in a while, so it's almost like I forgot my whole spiel and routine of what to say and what to do and all kinds of things like that with the interaction of people and things like that. So quick story about these guys. I have known each player now for at least 10 years. Oh, maybe not. I've known 3 of these players for at least... Got a heel promo, he says. I could cut a heel promo, but I don't want people to turn the screen off. They might think I'm serious. So, I have known Mr. Carwyle, Mr. Dopler, and Mr. Popp for at least 10 years. Dustin Popp I've known almost my whole life. We played sports when we were really little, and Tommy is definitely the young gun in this scenario. Let's see, Dustin would be about 31, 32 years old. I can't remember if he was a year ahead of me. I think he is, so Dustin might be 32, but Tommy is about 20. I don't know. How old is Tommy? Do you know?
24, I believe.
I was going to say, I was thinking 23, 24 years old. So Tommy's definitely the young gun of this group. So I guess, yeah, I've probably known Tommy now for about 7, 8 years, something like that. But the game that they're playing is a combination 8-ball, 9-ball. Tommy actually won the Illinois State Standard Championship two years ago. So he is a pretty fair player moving into the open division and things of that sort. So he's come a long way in his time that he's played. But each player, like I said, I've known for a long time. And Jay's a pretty fair shooter in his own right. I would say Jay enjoys playing 9-ball. I think his best game's 8-ball, but he does enjoy playing 9-ball. And I think all these guys' best games are 8-ball, actually. So they're calling our good friend Fritz up to watch a hit, I think. I don't... Yeah, it looks like so. It looks like they're using the Aramith black ball, so the ball that Jay is kicking at right now is the purple 5 ball. Jay, I think even Fritz can see that's a foul. So that's going to be not just a bad hit, it's going to be a no-hit. And it's looking like Dustin's lining up to see if the 5-9 happens to go. It looks like it could potentially be pretty close to being wired. I'm not sure if it's wired or not. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's not wired. So that means that Dustin's going to, looks like he's going to play a draw stroke to send the cue ball back for the 6. Now Jim's going to need to go 3 rails here if he, in my opinion, if he wants an easier way to get to the 7 ball. You can try to go back between the 7 and the 8. Looks like that's what Jim's doing. He's going to try to go back between the 7 and the 8. But then you run into the 8 ball potentially. So Jim hit it pretty good. I would have gone 3 rails. I'd have tried to come through this way at it and try to come back out that way. But that's just me. Jim enjoys 9-ball. He's probably, out of the people who play, he's probably the best 9-ball player in this matchup. So let's see. Dustin looks like he's leading up to the 8 in the top left-hand corner. And Jim, I'm sure, is going to leave him pretty simple on the 9-ball. So now they're going to get the second game of the matchup as long as Jim stays down and focuses. And he left Dustin just a little rough. Dustin hits a beautiful shot. That shot is much harder than it looks. And Jim congratulates Dustin for getting Dopler out of trouble there. So the score's 4-2. The last time that you joined us, you got to see Kevin and Erica Mulrooney take on Stacy Dallas and Caleb McCann. I believe, I think that was it a race to 15 or 10? I don't remember, but Caleb and Stacy won that match. That was some Scotch doubles 8-ball action. So here we go. Now we're Since they're playing winter break, it gives everybody the same equal opportunity to break 8-ball and 9-ball. So Jim's getting ready to break 8-ball now. Sends the cue ball off the table. So now we get to talk about we get to talk about the game a little bit. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I am in the booth by myself right now. So Josh skipped out on me, so it's just me. So I'm going to be looking to you guys for some conversation and things like that. But if you have any questions, just go ahead and make sure that you I mind you, I'm only going to be able to see the comments on Facebook if you are YouTubing, so I apologize, but I haven't quite figured out how to open both screens where I can pay attention to both at the same time, just being me myself. So Tommy's taking a look around here, and when you play the game of 8-ball, you got to worry about clusters. So this particular break, it's not really bad. But then after you talk about clusters, you have to go to the idea of is there any balls on the rail. So up here, you guys notice there is the 3-ball. Okay, that's up on the rail. So Tommy has to take that into consideration when he's running the rack. No other stripes really have an issue. So since Tommy has ball in hand, hey Josh, are they playing the kitchen? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, they are playing the kitchen. So Tommy has to be really careful on what he chooses here. Now Tommy looks to be he looks to be choosing stripes, and he missed. So what I would have done is I would have played solids first, and that's because both of these balls, even with the 8-ball where it was, they went up here. And what that actually means that way is I could move the cue ball with that arrow, because my problem ball of solids is the 3-ball. So I could use these balls here to move up and get basically to where the cue ball is right now. The 7-ball sees a bunch of different pockets, so it's pretty easy to get to. You like my straight line there? The last time I was doing pretty good. But I would have definitely taken solids, just because every ball there kind of saw a pocket. This ball saw here, that ball saw here, all kinds of different stuff. So I don't want to get too far along with solids, because right now they're shooting stripes. So the stripe problem ball is the purple 13 ball right here. So how they're going to want to play that is they're going to want to put the cue ball, as they're running these racks out, they're going to want to get the cue ball about here. And that way, when they shoot the 13 ball up in this corner pocket, the cue ball is going to come down this way and then back this way up for the 8-ball in the side pocket. So they have to find a way to get there. So it looks like a 9-ball in the side pocket, and then trying to maybe kill the cue ball. But let's see, who was that? That was Dustin. Dustin let the cue ball run. I'm not entirely sure where Dustin was going to try to leave the cue ball, but I will say that's where the idea of Dustin being a predominant 8-ball player comes in. They're not as familiar with 9-ball. Looking a couple shots ahead, leaving for one shot at a time, versus potentially leaving for one shot at a time and having 3 or 4 if you mess up. In 9-ball, you can't do that very much. So when they're getting towards the end of the rack, oh, Jay just bobbled that ball. When they're getting towards the end of the rack, it almost becomes like a game of 9-ball. You have to have a precise way to get out, and it's just when you're going back and forth between 8-ball and 9-ball, the mindset itself can be fairly difficult to grasp. So Jim still has to find some way to get to the 9-ball now. The 9-ball's a problem. So Jim finds a way to get to the 9-ball. Now the question is he straight in? If he's not straight in, you're going to see Dustin pocket the 9-ball up here and hopefully move the cue ball this way. Let's see. He went forward, which isn't bad. Let's go back to the sky view. So this is really easy. Then that was a really good shot for Dustin just to kill that ball. So Dopler's just going to try to leave the cue ball about right there and just put the 8-ball into the corner pocket. So if you notice, the reason why the cue ball moved, he shot the stripe and it hit here. So when it hits there, that means that there's some angle on the cue ball, which is going to cause it to move this way. So regardless, making quick work of that rack after Jay rattling a ball. So they were down 4-0, and now They have come back to a score of 4-3. So again, I appreciate everybody tuning in with us today. It's been a long, crazy fight to try to get our stream working, but I learned a couple things, so it looks like everything's going to be all right moving forward. I think I know what buttons I have to do if that ever happens again. So let's see, good break, but it looks to be very dry. Let's see here. So Dustin's left. I'm sorry. Jim has left a dry break to Tommy that is kind of rough. So if I'm Tommy, I am actually going to just barely tap the 1 and send the cue ball down the rail here. I'm not even going to try and make anything, and this is why. Yeah, you don't try to make anything there. The 2 balls already tied up. You might as well just play a safety to start the game off and then make them kick at it to get ball in hand. That is a, I don't know, would you guys say that's an 8-ball shot? I consider that an 8-ball shot, going for a breakout when you don't need to get a breakout.
That's a rookie mistake.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Mr. 300 here calling people's rookies. Last time I checked, when you played a good player, didn't you get beat 20-2?
I wasn't trying.
Oh, okay. He wasn't trying. My bad. My bad. I thought for sure that he was trying.
I didn't want to make you look bad.
That's cool. I appreciate it. Thanks. So, Jim is at the table right now. Let's see if we can get kind of a picture on Jim. So, Jim is looking at a couple different areas here. He needs to get to the pink 4-ball. The 4-ball's pink. So, he's looking to get either here or he's looking to get in this window. I don't know which one that he's going to try to get to. So he comes through that window, and he bumps a couple balls, but he seems to be okay. He's left Dustin the 4-ball down here into this corner pocket. But now,
how many games you would spot him?
You, Fritzy?
The
Oh man, is that retirement money that I might get some of?
Spot me as many games.
Retire? Let's see. I spotted Josh.
6.
I spotted him 14 games.
I might have a chance at 14. I wouldn't take any less.
I'd try it. Sure. Just, you talked me into it. You talked me into it.
I told you.
You talked me into it. What can I say?
Just don't write kick my ass.
I just got asked if I'd spot somebody else 20-14. Yeah. What the hell? Why not? It's just money, right?
It'd just be another steak dinner. Jeez.
Yeah, that you're cooking. That you're cooking. That's right. So here's Jay. Jay's looking to get the 5-ball. The 5-ball is purple in these sets of balls. So Jacob, last time we played at 20-for-20, what was the score? I don't remember.
What's this race, 20?
Yeah, it is a race to 20. So Jay's trying to get the cue ball in this line, I would say, pretty close. A straight line, not quite a curved one. But Tommy's going to come up to the table now, and Tommy's going to try to pocket the 6 and kind of send the cue ball this way, kind of back across the table. He's probably going to wind up in this area, I would think, just because it's high. Yeah, well, he went through that area. But he rattled the 6, so... All right, Jacob, so I can only imagine you getting better, so I'll give you 9. I can only imagine you've gotten better since then, so I'll give you 9. And then you'll probably beat me, because with my luck, you put a 5-pack on me or something like that. But, all right, so Jim is looking to shoot the 7-ball. Let's see which way he goes. I like the 3-rail shot myself, but he looks like he's going to draw back 1 rail. Yep. Jim likes to draw the ball a lot. And in 9-ball, I think him and I were talking about this the other day. In 9-ball, that's going to get you in trouble. And he admits that his draw gets him in trouble, too. But Dustin, on the other hand, oh, man, he hit that too hard almost. He hit that way too hard. How bad's that look on the front? Yeah, that's not easy. Be kind of a little bit of a jack-up shot. Jim's got his cue elevated. No, he flattened it out. I'd be worried about scratching. Maybe he can pull it away. Oh, yeah, he could pull that away. Oh, I don't know. He might not have been able to pull it away. So Jim misses the 9-ball to leave Jay Jay a pretty fair shot on the 9. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a pretty fair one. So Jay puts it in the hole to keep some distance, not a lot of distance, but to keep some distance. Scores 5-3. Breaks switch again, so now you're going to see it looks like Jay and Tommy getting ready to break a game. Whoa. Sorry if I just got quiet. I accidentally hit a button on my earpiece there, muted everything. Tommy and Jay are looking to keep some distance and break a rack of 8-ball here. So depending at where they break, I've seen I've been studying the break a little bit, and one thing that I like about an 8-ball break on a bar table. So let's check this out. So if they break from here, about here, Tommy's breaking head on, but when you're breaking from my X, the really cool thing, if you can figure it out, that second ball on this side likes to bank cross side. So that's what I really like. And even there, too, if you watch the second ball was the 14 ball, the second ball rolled that line there, too, on the head break. But that's not always going to happen. It's going to get kicked by some balls. But we were talking about... I was talking about breaking with someone just on Wednesday. I don't remember who it was, but I'd happen to tell them that if you can find good speed on a bar table, you can actually bank that ball consistently cross side as long as everything gets out of the way. But let's see here. So Jay's taking a look at the table here. He's got to determine what it is that he wants. So the issues that Jay's looking at have to do right around here. I'm sure he doesn't like that. So there's a chance that if he wants solids, he has to look at this cluster as well, because the 6 is really, really tight into the side pocket. Not sure if it goes from our TV angle. But so with solids, there are 2 breakouts that Jay's going to have to get. So, oh, yes it was, Danny, thanks. I couldn't remember who it was. So Jay's looking like he might try to gas up the cue ball and try to go for a breakout. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he gassed up the cue ball and hit the pink 12-ball flush. So now Tommy comes up to the table, and he's in a little bit of a jam. I wish, Danny, I wish they would go slower, because these guys all play, well, except for Jay. Jay's a fairly slow player, but Tommy, Dustin, and Jim both kind of shoot quick, so it's kind of hard to call the action. That's a good shot by Tommy. Probably what I would have attempted to do. But around the breaks, if you stick close to the breaks here, I'll try to coach the breaks here. So we'll see what we can do with that. But Tommy's kind of looking at Jay like, I made my ball, so now it's your job to get the 6 ball out. So as you guys can see here, Jay's really gonna be thinking here. With Scotch doubles, it's gonna be Tommy's turn no matter what. So Jay has to put Tommy in a situation to where Tommy's going to be able to mess with this, hopefully. And if Tommy can't break this out, there's going to have to be a safety involved. So now you run into who's going to play the safe. You're going to run into where the safe, what should the safe be. There is a shot that I see shooting the 1 off the 14. Depends if Jay sees it. I think Jay does see it. Jay at least saw the 1 in the side. So now Tommy is going to shoot the 1, I would imagine, off the 14 ball into the corner pocket. And that would bust everything out this way. But he's got to control the cue ball. Yeah, he drew the cue ball back, which was not what he should have done. He should have just parked the cue ball. And he didn't hit it very hard either. He tried to draw it and tried to put a little bit of stink on it. But if you just park the cue ball, some of the energy that left the rack due to the draw would have stayed. So would have been a little more powerful. So Jay has his Jay has his chance to come up with something entertaining for us. I'm not quite sure what he's going to call. I think he's going to try to come in behind the 14. So I think he's looking at coming in behind the 14 to try to hit the 6. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. But the 14 ball's pretty big. He's got to be careful. I think he can hit it, but he might not. I think that was a foul. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty close. I would have had to been right up at the table to stare at it, but from here that looked like that was a foul. So everybody else thought it was a foul too. So if I'm wrong, that means everybody else is wrong too. So Jim and Dustin are talking a little bit, trying to come up with a path of least resistance. So let's see. We got to look at the 11 and the 10. Let's see what goes there. It looks like from this angle that the 11 actually goes into the side pocket, but interesting enough, coming over to the other angle, it looks like that same 11 ball is much more difficult to slide into the side pocket than what it looks like from one angle to the next. So Dustin, unfortunately, has left. He's shaking his head. Dustin has unfortunately left. Dopler with kind of a toughie. He's worried about getting shape for Dustin, which I mean I would be too. If he can shoot the 15, I'm thinking the 15, up here is probably a good bet. I don't like to shoot the 12 ball. 12 ball is the pink stripe because the cue ball can go crazy. So let's see where Jim shoots. Yeah, Jim goes after the 15 and scratches. So that's not good. That's going to give Tommy and Jay ball in hand with just these 2 balls on the table. So that's going to be pretty slim pickings for those guys. I'm going to play the 6 ball first, and then I'm going to just make sure I have enough room to be about here. That's where I want to be. He hit it pretty, yeah, he can still get back there. So basically all Jay's going to do now, Jay's going to pocket the pink 4 ball, and I would imagine he's going to use the rail. So he would come just this way, and then he'd come just this way for the 8 ball up here. Nope, he says he's going to shoot it in the side. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like Tommy was all ready to shoot that in the side, so I'm paying attention to a computer and not them. I would have seen that if I was looking out there. But Jay softly leads Tommy to complete game number 9 to give Jay and Tommy a pretty strong 3-game lead. So Tommy and Jay started off in this strong. They were up 4-0, and then it was 4-3, and now it is 6-3. So back to the break. I think Danny mentioned something about the break. So if you're picking my brain an 8-ball, what I actually watch for on an open break, meaning that I am snapping them hard. So again, if they're still here, so I'll draw a little bit of an 8-ball rack here. What I'm looking for is this ball right here, the corner ball. So I normally break from about right here, playing 8-ball, and I'm looking to send this corner ball. I'm watching to see if I can get it to go 4 rails or not. So that's normally what I'm looking at in a rack of 8-ball, and maybe we'll see that a little later. But right now, again, with 9-ball, depending on how hard they break, you're going to be looking for the 8-ball to come in through here, and the 1-ball is going to do one of two things: either come towards the side pocket, or it's going to come back to the middle of the table. If it hits high, it can come back towards the corner pocket. It just depends at where it goes here. So it came high, so it dropped back towards the corner pocket and got kicked to stay back here. So those are the balls that we got to look for, and the wing ball is typically a 9-ball. What we're trying to make. That's this was the wing ball on this side over here. And that normally shoots up, would be in the top left-hand portion of your screen. Just depends on the speed and what balls are touching, but they're normally watching for wing balls to get there. So let's see. Let's go to this view here and check this out. So the question is can Tommy see the 1 to be pocketed, or is he going to send the 1 down table? So there's a chance he could send the 1 down table and then park the cue ball. So let's see. So Tommy hits it pretty good, but in the process, he hits the cue ball fairly bad. So good news is the 4-ball is up here, the pink 4. So if Jay can get into it, a shot that I'm gonna try, if I can't see the 3-ball at all, I'm going to put inside English on it, which is this part of the cue ball. And I'm going to shoot the cue ball about here, and then it is going to snap backwards, and I'm going to try to shoot the 3 up here. But Jay looks like he can see it. From this angle, it didn't look like he could see it. But he's left Dustin. He's left Dustin with a floater. So you're going to look for the cue ball to float forward towards the 4-ball. Oh, he's got to make it, though. G1's rule 1. Make here. Looks like we're back. So Dustin just missed a 6-ball and left through, and I'd be looking to get to about here. I'm here. So I either got 1. Don't like about it is that it decreases the angle. Look for the cue ball to come off of this rail, and then Jay at bank. I don't know what the deal is. Hopefully YouTube. I think what's going to happen with the cue ball. I would like to see something like this come out of it. He went. So the English that he used was to try to come out the other way, and Tommy. I have done just about everything. YouTube as much Six Ball's path was pretty good, but the problem on a bar table that you run into is all the corner ball. The corner ball, I don't want to say is impossible to break. You just have to have a really good break. You got to go. But we can break down this. So don't quite understand what's going on, and I'm getting really frustrated because we're losing viewership.